Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, folks, welcome back. I'm here with my student. We're looking at solving equations, clip 105, grade C questions. We've got quite a few different ones I want to look at today. For example, we have here for example, the standard linear type equations, where we have I call this one-sided equations. One-sided equations becomes one side with brackets, and then it becomes double-sided equations here. Okay, then we become double-sided with brackets, and then we start getting fractional equations, and then we got equations with more fractions in it. Okay, let's see how we get. I want to pick one question from each type. Okay, Amina, ready for that? So the ones on the line, we'll just do those now, and we start off and we try to do each question nice and big and lovely, as big as we can. So let's pick a new color. Let's pick black. So it says here solve. If I do nice and big, hopefully we can do more explanation with it. MashaAllah, it's working nice and smoothly now. I had some technical difficulties earlier, but alhamdulillah, managed to go. Right. Okay. There's our equation. It says solve it. What do they want us to do? They want us to work out the value of x. So we start at x. We start at x. Okay. Now when you start at x, what do? We need to, what's the next word? We need to identify. We need to identify the actions being done. Actions being done to the x. Now, if you look at x over here, I'm going to pay attention here now. You got x here. What's happening? What's being done to the x? The x has been something. 2 is acting on the x. What's the 2 doing to the x? Is it adding, minusing, multiplying, dividing? What's it doing to the x? Excellent. The 2 is currently multiplying. Now what's happening here? Follow my cursor. What's happening here? What's happening next? After the x has been doubled, then it's been minus by. Lovely. So we call this part here the first action, and the minus 3 is called that's the first one, and that one is the second action. Now, when we solve an equation, what do we do next? After we've identified the action, we do the what? So we solve. Now, do we move the actions to the other side in the same order as the identification, or something else? We solve by moving the actions in, what's the key word here now? The key word is in reverse order. So I want to solve the x. I want to get x on its own. That's what I mean by that. Okay, so solving for x means that when you finish, you should have a statement that says x equals something, something, something. Okay. At the moment, we've got 2x minus 3 equals. All right. So we want to rearrange it, make x the subject, and then we'll get a solution hopefully. So the first action is times by 2. Second action is minus 3. Once we identify the order of the actions, which action shall I move now then? Shall I move the times by 2 first to the side, or minus 3? Well done. We move the minus 3. Excellent. So we grab the minus 3 and we move that first. Opposite of minus 3 on the left hand side is 2 on the right hand side. So we have now 17 plus 3. So 17 plus 3 will give us a nice and lovely 20. The 2x is still there on the right hand side. So that hasn't changed. And then we got time by 2. Now what did we move now? What have we got? We only got one thing to move now. What do we move now? The time by 2. Okay, remember the x is going to stay there. So if we move the time by 2, and opposite time by 2 is divide by 2. Lovely, beautiful. So we copy everything else down. So we have x is equal to 20 divided by 2, which is equal to 10. Okay, are we happy with that? And that's our answer for that nice and straightforward solving equation question. So whether this part here, I'm looking at this 2x minus is on the left hand side, is on the right hand side, doesn't matter. You just move from one side to the, so if everything on the left, you move from left to the, and if everything was already on the right, you move from the right to the, so it doesn't make any difference. So don't always expect the equation to be on the left, and when you go on the right, you go, oh my god, I've done something wrong, what's going on? Okay, we're happy with that. Right, should we go to a new page? Okay, I think we might need to just blank this page if we can. Let me just quickly pause it. Here's the next question, folks. So we're looking at when we have brackets. Whoops, whoa, I'm on the wrong function. Excuse me, folks, I'm sorry about that. I need to pick up a pen. So what happens when you have this on now? We have that one. Now, 2x plus 3 equals 8. Now, you can multiply the brackets first. Because it's only a single-sided equation, I wouldn't advise you to do that. I would say to you again, start at the x, start here. X has been added by 3. That's the first action. Okay. And then everything's been multiplied by 2. So that is the second action. Okay, are we happy with that? Now, what do we do again? Remind me what we do again. We now move which action first. The whole point of identify the action first, second, third, and so on is so that we can start in which order, in the same order or in reverse order? In reverse order, lovely. So we grab the time by 2, take it over, becomes a divide by 2. So now, once the multiply by 2 goes, the brackets also disappear because the multiply by 2 is holding everything together. So now that you have x plus 3 has been released from its cage, from its prison. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Next we have the plus 3. Opposite of add 3 is minus 3. And then next we have x is equal to 4 minus 3. The x is equal to? X is equal to 1. And there's the answer. Are we happy with that? Okay. So rather than multiply the brackets and then solving, we can just move it straight away and we have less steps to do. Yes? Okay. Now, so we've had a look at the single-sided ones, the single with brackets. Now we need to look at the double-sided ones. And then with brackets and then the fractional ones. Well, actually, I think we should try the fractional ones next. We've got some space here. That should do nicely. Okay, right. Let's get back to our pen. So we now have another question. Let's just circle that off. This is a nice easy one. How would you do this nice baby one? Lovely and easy. X divided by 2 is equal to 5. What do we do? We say the opposite divide by 2 is, what's opposite divide by 2? Time by 2. So we say the x is equal to 10. Are we happy with that? Good. Now that goes now into this next dimension here, and you start looking at the ones like this. So let's have a look at the next one. Let's choose a slightly different color. Okay, that will do. Okay, I'm looking at question number 29 now. So we have 5 x minus 3 divided by 3 is equal to 4. Now, what do we not like to do? What do we not like to have in a question when we're solving equations? We like to get, if we have it, we like to get rid of what? Get rid of the fractional parts. Okay, we don't want fractions in questions and solving them. Ideally, we don't want anything on the bottom, the denominators. So first of all, what we do, we look at the equation. The equation starts at x. What's being done to the x? X is being, first of all, been timed by, time by 5. That's called the first action. Then it's been minus by 3. And then it's been divided by, I'm trying to do something else. That has been divided by 3. So how many actions do we have? 3 actions. So let's opposite of dividing by 3 is, this is called as, we call this cross multiplying as well sometimes. So now we're left with, on the left hand side, so 5x minus 3 is now equal to 12. So now this question looks like the question we done earlier. Is that right? Okay, lovely. Let's just do some more movements. Opposite of minus 3 now is, so we have 50, oops, back to, so we have 15, oh, that looks proper. That's 15. 15 is equal to 5x. And now we move the multiplier by 5 over. So we are now left with a lovely x is equal to 15 divided by 5 is equal to 3. Lovely. And the question is done. Let's squeeze at the bottom. Yummy. Okay, remember that's x equals 3. Okay, let's get back to the pen. Okay. There we go. Lovely. We've rescued the 300. Okay, are we happy with those questions so far? So whether we have brackets, that's not a problem. Whether we have fraction on the bottom, that's not a problem. And what is the key to our question? Can you remind us now what is the key to our question? The key to our question is what? Starting at the x. And then identifying the actions done to the x. And then we're solving them by moving them in reverse order. So the key is, how many notches do you have on the key? 3. Start at x, identify the actions, and then solve the in reverse order. And you do that for all solving equations. As long as you follow those 3 steps, those 3 notches is the key, then you will have the access to all kinds of solving equation formula, and you will feel very confident for classwork, homework, and examinations. So let's say them again. Start at x, identify the, and then solve in reverse order. Done. Learn those and okay. Right, we got one more question to do as an example. I'm going to get some space, and then we're gonna. Okay, back to recording. Okay, folks, just have to clear some space on the desktop. Ready now? So here I call this a double-sided linear equation. Linear because the y has the maximum power of 1, and double-sided because it got 2 parts, so you got y in both bits. Now, we need to solve for y. In this type of question, we have to take a fresh approach because we have got y on this side and also y on that side. So, what is our idea for this type of question? We always start from, but not necessarily, but this is where our teacher makes it easier. We always start from the bigger y or the smaller y. Where do we start this question? Smaller y, well done. We start at the smaller y, start here. We move the smaller y, we grab it. We grab the smaller y, take it towards the larger y. Now, once we move the y's to the left hand side, it becomes incumbent upon us to move the numbers on the right hand side. So you think of it like this. Y's on one side, numbers on the other side. Y's on one side, numbers. So we're collecting the like terms together. So now let's rewrite our equation. So we now have 5y that was originally here. Now remember, this is a plus 3y. When it's joined the other side, it becomes a minus 3y. We had originally a plus 2. A minus 2 joined it. What's the minus 2 become? Plus 2. Why does it become plus 2? When we change side, we change sign. We change side, we change sign. So as the plus 3y comes over, it changes to minus 3y. When a minus 2 comes over, it changes to plus 2. So now we have this new scenario here. Okay, let's get a red. So we have 5y minus 3y. 5y minus 3y will give us 2y. 2 add 2 will give us Now remember, we still got the, we got to work out what the y is. The y is being timed by 2, and the opposite time by 2 is, so changing side. So we say the final answer is y is equal to 4 divided by 2, which is equal to 2. And the question is done. Now, there's only one other variation of this on this particular worksheet. That's the one with brackets. Let's do that as well. This is for completeness. Okay, back to record. Right, I've written up the next question. That's going to be hopefully the last possible question that we do in this video. Okay, let's have a look. Now, if you have a double-sided linear equation with brackets on each side, now it's important in this particular instance to multiply out the brackets. We didn't need to do that in the previous example earlier in the video because it was unnecessary to multiply the brackets, but now we've got brackets on both, so we do need to. Now, why do we multiply the brackets, Samir? So we can release the xn plus 3 from being imprisoned by the brackets. We can release them. So 5 times by x is equal to what? 5x. So we have 5 times by plus 3. What's equal to? Plus 15. We have 2 times by x, which gives us what? 2x. 2 times by plus 6 plus 12. Lovely. I haven't written that stage in. Okay. So now, what do we do now? Now we have a linear double-sided equation without the brackets. We do the same thing we've done in the previous example. We start at the smaller x value, which is what? 2x. Move that towards the 5x and move the 15 plus 15 in the other direction. So what do we have now on the next line? We have original, whoops, I wanted black. Okay, right. So we have original 5x is there. Now the plus 2x has joined it. When the plus 2x joins it, what does it become? Minus 2x. Plus 12 was already here. When the plus 15 joins, it becomes a opposite plus 15 is minus 15. So now we have 5x minus 2x. This gives us what? And we have plus 12 minus 15. What's that give us? What's plus 12 minus 15? Minus 3. We haven't finished yet. We're not out of the woods yet. We've got x times by 3. So we get x on its own now. Opposite times by 3 is? So what is minus 3 divided by 3? Gives us? Well done. It gives us minus 1. And I couldn't have answered that better myself. So here is our solution. Okay. So everything takes time and practice. So I've missed out one step here. You could have written down 5 times by x and also 5 times by plus 3, yeah? That'll make it more complete if you need to. But you've done that quite nicely in your homework anyway, so if you want, you could just do that bit or verbally in your head, yeah? Are you happy with that? But you can also put that in as well if you like. Okay, are we happy with that? Okay, there's only really one question left, which is this one here. Solve 4x plus 3 is 1. Now what do you do with those two numbers here? The opposite divide by 5 is times the other side by 5. And opposite divide by 2 is times the other side by 2. So the numbers will go opposite side and multiply. And then you put brackets there. Okay? Alright, we're going to stop this video now and I'll let you do some questions. And we have been making a video for nearly 20 minutes.